These are 25 of the worst serial killers throughout history. There are crimes, and then there are atrocities so horrifying that they leave a permanent scar on history. Some killers operated in the shadows, their names nearly lost to time. Others became infamous, their faces forever tied to unimaginable horror. But they all had one thing in common: pure, calculated evil. This isn't just a list of names. This is a deep dive into the minds of history's worst serial killers. These are individuals who manipulated, tortured, and killed without remorse, leaving behind a legacy of fear and unanswered questions. From medieval aristocrats with a thirst for blood to modern killers who taunted the world, this is the definitive list of the 25 worst serial killers throughout history. Who built an entire hotel designed for murder? Who played games with the police for years, leaving behind cryptic messages that still haven't been solved? And which one of them lived a seemingly normal life until the truth finally came out? This is a journey into the minds of history's most terrifying kill. Chapter 1. Gilles de Rais, the original horror story. Gilles de Rais was born into privilege, wealth, and status. Things that should have set him up for a life of influence and power. And in many ways, they did. But instead of using that power for good, he became one of history's earliest and most disturbing serial killers. As a nobleman in 15th century France, he was respected, decorated, and even fought alongside Joan of Arc. He had everything: land, titles, and authority. But after her execution, something inside him shifted. The once great military leader retired, spiraling into a world of decadence, financial ruin, and eventually, pure evil. The stories that emerged were horrifying. He turned to the occult, convinced that dark rituals could restore his wealth. But these weren't just empty ceremonies. He needed sacrifices, and his victims, innocent children, mostly young boys from local villages. Witnesses later described the unspeakable horrors he inflicted on them, taking pleasure in their suffering before ending their lives. For years, his status shielded him. Nobility meant untouchability, and with no one willing to challenge him, the disappearances were ignored. But arrogance has a way of undoing even the most powerful. It wasn't the killings that caught up with him. It was money. Desperate for funds, he made the mistake of crossing the church. That led to an investigation, and what they uncovered was a nightmare beyond comprehension. Gilles de Rais was finally arrested, tried, and found guilty. His reign of terror ended on October 26, 1440, when he was executed by hanging and burning.